Hello and welcome to episode 7 of our exciting podcast coming to you live from First National Action Realty Ipswich. Today we've got something a little bit special. We're talking about commercial real estate, and I am very, very privileged to have Cheryl Kermond with me, who is the commercial guru for the Ipswich Greater Region. We're going to pick her brain, have a chat about some questions, and definitely learn some more about commercial. For me, it's lovely to have Cheryl here. She's working in our team and has been for many, many years. Cheryl and I actually have an interesting past. We both started our REIQ courses together over 16 years ago. I branched out into residential sales and Cheryl went on to excel in commercial sales. So I'm a little bit excited to ask Cheryl a few questions about commercial today too, and I'm sure our listeners are interested in the big wide world of commercial. So welcome, Cheryl.
Thanks, Glenn.
Nice, big intro. Got a lot to live up to. So Cheryl, obviously coming from a residential background, I understand a little bit about commercial but not a lot, so I'm interested to learn a little bit today as well. So for you at the moment, how is the commercial market going in regards to sales?
Over the past 12 months, we've experienced some exciting commercial transactions. Probably something we've never seen in the past before. There's also been some changes to the market in regard to the properties that have sold. Have actually been a lot of owner-occupiers. Because of this, there's been a change of guard, I guess. A lot of these buyers have been younger people. They will be owner-occupiers. They'll actually take their position in the CBD. They'll also operate their businesses from those sites. There's one in particular that we sold 196 and 94 Brisbane Street. That was one owner, and he's actually in there at the moment renovating that space for himself, and he'll make good of that space, and it'll be all one facade, one owner. And yeah, so a lot of these young people that have purchased property in the market currently also obviously see some good value in Ipswich real estate, and they can see some good things happening in the future.
And like on the residential side, I've got buyers coming from interstate moving up, got people coming from Brisbane. Are you seeing these type of buyers, are they local or Brisbane based? Or
the majority of the sales we've done have been actually locals. So they're people who have actually succeeded in the Ipswich market and have decided to buy rather than be tenants. With some of our investment property, we are seeing some interest from interstate with those properties, but for the majority of the sales that we have completed, they have been actually local buyers, and they'll work in the Ipswich market.
And obviously Cheryl helped me buy my first commercial property, which is the building we're sitting in at the moment, which was a nice smooth transaction thanks to Cheryl, and I'm certainly happy with the return that I'm getting. What sort of return would an investor be looking at? Is it 6.5%, 9%? Like, what would, have they got a benchmark of what you're looking at? A lot of
investors ideally would like to see something with a yield between 5 and 7%. But to try and find something with a good return and good yields is difficult in this market. We're finding that a lot of commercial operators with good returns are hanging on to those properties. So to try and get something with good yields is a bit difficult at this moment. A couple of properties that we did sell to investors have been also local owners, and obviously it was purely about position on those two properties. So they can obviously see a good future still in the Ipswich market, with the growth and things happening around the CBD as well, and the development of the Ipswich Mall area. Yeah, there's still a lot of confidence out there in the commercial area.
And I guess what that tells me with local buyers investing in Ipswich, they're on the ground, they can see the growth, they can see the potential, so they're jumping in now while prices are still very, very achievable.
Correct.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
And so I guess when I drive around, I don't see a lot of vacancy signs at the moment, which is good.
Which is good, because obviously with these owner-occupiers purchasing property, that will change the face of Ipswich CBD. So they'll occupy those buildings. The vacancies will certainly to drop off, and yeah, there'll be the changes in our market.
I had something I was thinking about yesterday too in regards to COVID, because when COVID hit and still continues to hit on a regular basis. There's new regulations, legislations, there's tenants exemptions and so forth coming through. I was talking to a potential landlord the other day. He said, look, I'm done, I'm over it. There's so much, it's a minefield trying to work out COVID with their potential tenants. So if someone come to you and said, okay, look, Cheryl, we've been managing it ourselves, it's just a bit too much. You've got the experience to go, right, we'll get it into line, we'll make it work. What would you do with something like that?
Through COVID, we've actually been able to manage the situation actually quite well. We were guided by a national code of conduct. With that, we were able to guide our tenants and our landlords through that process. We actually found that a lot of tenants have actually managed quite nicely through COVID. The only ones who probably struggled a little bit were people like gyms, dance schools, those types of tenants. But our whole aim through that whole process was to keep the tenants in place to come through that journey of COVID and be at the other end. And same with our landlords. A lot of our landlords are probably older investors, and they also need that consistency of rent, and they would like to also hang on to those properties. So in actual fact, we've come through the other side quite nicely, and in actual fact with a lot of tenants who are around the food industry, a lot of them have conducted their business with takeaway, and they've actually done quite nicely through this whole process. So yeah.
And I really like how your team thinks outside the square. Like, we've got a really dynamic crew in the commercial division with Melanie Ross, and we've also got Clint Frankie, who's a young gun super sales associate of Cheryl's. I was so impressed when I saw you and Clint going out on site to some of our local tenants when COVID was really, really rife and things in sales were down, and you actually did one-on-one videos and promoted them through the First National site to try and help build their business. I just thought that was amazing. Yeah,
we certainly went out there and tried to make contact with our tenants, tried to guide them through the process, keep their confidence up and their spirits up so that they can continue with their business and, yeah, like we said, come through to the other side.
I think it's amazing. I think if you are self-managing your commercial property at the moment and you're struggling a little bit, or you're looking, how do I get that next edge? Have a talk to Cheryl. I mean, for you to go out, try and promote businesses to get that rent coming back in for your landlords, you're thinking outside the square. I just think if you have a commercial property and you're thinking of leasing or selling, you have to have a talk to Cheryl for some free advice. You won't charge?
We're happy to assist.
Awesome. Well, that's amazing, Cheryl. Look, I'm really stoked. I've learned a little bit more. Like I said, if you've got commercial property, you're thinking about investing in commercial property in Ipswich, which obviously we've established local people are switched on and already doing that, or if you are self-managing, or if you're a potential tenant and you're looking for that ideal space, please give Cheryl and Clint and the team a call. I think it's pretty a smart move.
There's over 30 years experience in that commercial office, so we're more than happy to assist.
Awesome. Well, I hope you enjoyed podcast number 7. I got a lot out of today. Everything commercial, and I know we've just scraped the surface, and Cheryl has said she'd love to come back again. Yeah?
Willing to.
She's willing to. But anyway, if you want to Facebook us, email us, call us, anything commercial, residential or rentals, we're here for you.